But it is time for our main event on the Hall of Fame. And let's be honest, I liked the Steiner's introduction. I liked all the introductions. They were nice, but people would have been pissed if this had not been the main event, don't you think?
Oh, there was nothing else that even compared to this.
Yeah.
In the history of their Hall of Fame, there may be no one else who would have been above the Undertaker. I mean, he's one of their favorites.
Well, besides
and
that,
deserving.
Yeah. And just besides that, this saved it, and that late at night, and nobody cared. I mean, what was it? 1:45 for real, he came out. And he overstayed the time that I'm sure that they had allotted him, and that was a good thing too, because actually they should have just induct the Undertaker in the Hall of Fame, and the show would have been shorter, and everybody would still been as happy.
So how long do you think Mark Callaway's been working on this public speaking routine? Because it seemed like there were parts of this that were absolutely about wrestling for a wrestling audience. I'm in the Hall of Fame. And there were parts of this that were, I'm taking this on the road.
Yeah, it was a dry run. We're working it out in Scranton before we take it on the road.
TED Talk with the Undertaker.
But, well, first of all, the great package again. We've talked about all these men's packages. They all have great packages. And then here comes Vince to do the induction, and he controlled the walk a little bit. He had a little swagger, but it wasn't like it was over the top. Has he lost weight to you?
Well, yeah, he's an older man. I think he has shrunk a little in height and also lost weight, yeah.
But I've never seen Vince looking like a normal person. He looks more like his father facially than ever, and his voice has gotten gruffier. But in some parts here, he was reading a teleprompter. You could tell, and especially when he rattled off all those names of Taker's opponents. Brian Lee got a mention. And then Vince tried to explain it. He wouldn't say fake Undertaker. He said faux Undertaker. The faux Undertaker. By the way, do you know what a faux diamond is, Brian?
What's a faux diamond?
That was a question that was asked on a TV show I saw years ago. One of the Man in the Street interview. They're trying to find out if people know what a faux diamond. Obviously, it's a phony. It's a fake. It's FAUX, faux diamond, like faux news. Somebody said, "Is that a diamond with faux corners?" So anyway. But Vince got off the teleprompter and brightened up when he started talking about Shotgun Saturday Night. Did you see that in his face? He still loves that show.
Yeah, he's got 8 memories, and whoever scripted this for him, whoever wrote this, because he didn't write this, they knew exactly what little anecdotes to go to.
Well, and again, you can tell when Vince's face brightens when he has a fond memory, and he loved that Fakakta program. To sound like Finkel. That was a shitty program, but he loved the flying nuns and me taking the Mexican midget in the bathroom at the bus station and trying to lift him up so he could use the urinal, and the Terry Funk and the, craziness at the saloon and all this stuff. But he loved that TV show. And it was true. What he said was true. They just, in those days, that was 1997, they just took a camera guy and an audio guy and Vince and, whoever the talent was. And I'd be there, Bruce would be there. And we just shoot shit in New York fucking City with no permission whatsoever. And there was, at one point, that's when Taker gave Triple H the tombstone on the escalator at what? You're the New York expert. What location was that? The bus terminal, the Port Authority? Where was it?
Oh, I actually thought it was the Amtrak side of Penn Station, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, well, Penn State. See, we were in all these places. And, and we just showed up and there's a camera. Now they might shoot us. They'd think some kind of fucking terrorism was going on or something.
Give Triple H credit. I would never, ever even consider taking a tombstone on an escalator.
On an escalator!
That's insane. And
not even the up escalator, but the down escalator.
Imagine if his hair got caught in that thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, they tried to what Vince, and he fucking shut him up. Did you see that?
I did.
That was good. So anyway, he introduces the Undertaker, and here comes the entrance, and now the people are popping. Because think about it, it's midnight, and they've been in the building since 7 o'clock to watch the the SmackDown show that we just talked about, and this Hall of Fame. So, okay, we've got it now. The main event is here. Big standing ovation. I still get goosebumps on that intro. I got goosebumps laying in my bed watching this on television. I got goosebumps on my arms because I remember when you would stand in the ring in a major arena. And this is one of the first programs that I was in when I got to WWF, right? Was Yoko and Undertaker. And standing in the middle of the ring in one of those NBA arenas for a television or a pay-per-view with the Undertaker's entrance and the flashing lights and the lightning and all that shit, that was some cool shit. You would get goosebumps. And he carried that off. It was nobody else could have got away with that. But he had the people in the palm of his hand. Anyway, he had when he got in the ring, he had the headset microphone on so he could walk around. And I didn't know, like you said, I didn't know that he was going to audition a motivational speaking thing, but I thought that's brilliant because he doesn't need to be static and stand there. This is what they've waited to see. So he needed to be able to open up and talk to all the people. And the standing ovation and the chants, "You deserve it," and "Thank you, Taker," just took forever, and he drank them all in. And he became pretty much Mark Callaway right away. And in the past, I would have said, and I think I have even said, why ever break that character, break that kayfabe, show your real self? It was so magic. But he's done now, even though there was a tease, he's done now. There was a reason for it. He did a fantastic job of it. And also, to be honest, that's what those people paid for. They won't remember anything else about the matches or maybe a few things with the Hall of Fame, but they're going to remember that for the first time ever in the history of ever, not The Undertaker, but Mark Callaway talked to them like a person for an hour. That has never happened before, and I wish I could say it'll never happen again, then it'd be unique. But I have a feeling, like you said, we're going to see some more of it. But maybe not in a wrestling venue. So Brian, here's another trivia question. Who was the first person to book Mark Callaway on national television?
Jim Cornette, Kevin Sullivan, or Ric Flair?
Well, actually, I was going to leave off Kevin and Ric Flair.
I knew you were. I was giving the team credit.
Because honestly and truthfully, and I'll give Dutch Mantell an asterisk also, but honestly and truthfully, I booked Mark because we needed the skyscraper, and I've forgotten which one was it. It was Sid that got hurt. He replaced Sid. We needed a skyscraper, and I told Rick, they got a 7-foot guy in Memphis I can call Dutch Mantell, and Rick just said, okay. If you think he'll fit, if Dutch says he's okay, do it. So I actually booked him. Bye, Cracky. But anyway, so he started the speech with the story of some of his brother's advice where he was down on his luck and his brother advised him to follow his dream. And then we got the mental signature moves that apparently are going to be a part of his motivational tour. But the first one was no surprise. How many times have I said that? That's Vince McMahon's favorite statement. Perception is reality. And in this case, it was about people perceiving that Mark was an asshole because the job guy fucked up and he beat him up or whatever. But that's what Vince will say. That's what Bruce will say. That's what everybody that's been around Vince McMahon for any amount of time will say. And it's actually, you can kind of see it now. in modern life. Vince has been ahead of the curve. It's true. It's not what's factual and what is real. It's what people think is real and factual that they believe. Perception is reality. He mentioned everybody. Stephanie was the little sister he never wanted. Godfather. They mentioned Yokozuna, the whole Bone Street crew. Bryan Adams, he was very close friends with. He teared up over that. Paul Bearer, Glenn, obviously. Thanks some of the legends. He mentioned Perry Jackson, Action Jackson, right? Helped him out when Buzz Sawyer fucked him. He even mentioned Bruce, Terry Anderson, the seamstress, his team of doctors, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, his family. No Mick Foley. Do you think he glossed over it, or is there something going on there? Or did he just think he did, but he didn't?
Well, there are a lot of guys he didn't thank. He didn't thank you. He didn't thank Paul Heyman. He didn't thank...
Well,
did he thank Dutch?
He didn't mention Dutch.
I mean, there's a lot of guys. He thanked pretty much people in the room. Hey, Glenn and Triple H and Shawn.
But Undertaker and Mick Foley.
I agree. I would think if he was going to go through a list of his most memorable opponents, Mick Foley would have to be on top of that list for that one match alone.
He should have thanked Ricky Morton because he said it was advice from his father. I think his father stole it from Ricky Morton because I've heard Ricky say it for 40 years. Be careful about the toes you step on the way up because they may be connected to the ass you got to kiss on the way back down. And then he thanked his wife. His wife is the one that got him into religion. So I'm telling you, Brian, it's these women that will lead a man astray every time. And then he thanked Vince and the WWE Universe. Rest in peace. He starts to leave, and then he looks back, sees one of the outfits. They've got the Undertaker outfits on display there. He goes, he takes the coat, he takes the hat, he puts on the hat, and he says, never say never. Music, and we're out of here. He left it open just in case, because
that was honestly a kiss on the cheek to Vince. That's what Vince wants to hear. Never say never.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that he should necessarily ever wrestle again or even do a cinematic match. But you can't mean to tell me that Undertaker, in a few years at WrestleMania as an enforcer, as a, not necessarily a referee, but as someone brought onto the scene to make sure that the playing field is level or that all things are equal or whatever. That's the equivalent of what they've done this year with Austin. So I would hope that maybe once in a few years at WrestleMania, we will see, just to get a chance to wave at him again. Something like that. But it was a hell of a speech. He went for an hour. And for a guy who, I don't know that I've ever heard Taker talk that much in person, not on television. He's not a braggadocious nor a loquacious individual. He a man of few words and says what he means, right? It's not like he can't talk, but he doesn't usually go on to that extent. So this was a first time in the history of history for a lot of things. That made it worth it to me, the whole Hall of Fame thing.
It was nice. I can't really complain about it at all. It was nice. I actually like the setup. I like the idea they have the talent. Although, you got to separate who's feuding, but they have the talent up there watching, and I like the idea of everyone getting that one last entrance. You're coming down the aisle. It's pretty cool. I liked it.
Well, and at least nobody hit the ring or the stage or the podium like they did a few years ago. Because I don't know what would happen this time. FTR's not there to bail them out.
That's right.
But, Brian, it is, I guess, the end of an era. Somebody that has been at the top of the mountain in professional wrestling for so long, an icon, a megastar, that now all we got is the memories. How are we going to remember The Undertaker, you say? How are we going to commemorate what he has meant to us, ladies and gentlemen. I say to you, oil painting. That's what I say to you, not plastics, but oil painting. Because, folks, you're not going to have The Undertaker to kick around on a regular basis anymore, so you've got to remember him. And I think that the perfect way would be make that memory last forever. Turn to paintyourlife.com. If you're making memories on vacations or holidays with the family or friends, you want to turn some of those into art. It's a great idea for a gift for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings. All you got to do is log on to paintyourlife.com, and you can order from a team of world-class artists a professional hand-painted portrait created from any photograph at an affordable price, or combine pictures of people or places that you love into one painting, even if they weren't in the same place. You can put Mick Foley next to Undertaker at the Hall of Fame and right the wrong that was done to our friend Cactus Jack. You just go and you choose the painting. You work with the artists until every detail is perfect. You can get this picture in as little as 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, whether it's friends, loved ones, family, candid photography, I haven't heard of anybody getting turned down for wanting to turn a photograph into a painting. So maybe you could line the walls with paintings that would go into the Playboy Mansion at one point in time. Just depends on what kind of pictures you got in your archives. But the point is, paintyourlife.com, there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed, and right now is a limited time offer only. You can get 20% off your painting and free shipping if you text the word DRIVE, DRIVE, to 64,000. That's DRIVE to 64000. Paint your life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at paintyourlife.com/terms.